First of all, I am standing in a space that's usually stacked to the ceiling with tampons. And right now, I am, as much as any other organization, feeling the effects of a tampon shortage. That is what is left of our supply. And it's gonna last us as long as it's gonna last us, and we're gonna do what everyone else is doing and trying to source them and do the best we can. And in the meantime, we are absolutely, these are flying out the door. We're helping other agencies like ours. We're helping new agencies that we've never helped before because there's no sense in keeping them. The critical need is now. The reason I think there are two silver linings to this is because we know, those of us who work in this space, those of us who've been reading the media for the past many years, know that period poverty is a real thing that affects millions of families in our country. And in the past, it's been difficult for them to afford menstrual products. On top of it, there is the horrible situation they're facing now, which is it's impossible to afford, and it's actually very, very difficult to find. The reason there's a silver lining to that is because people for whom period poverty was never an issue before, was never an issue in the way that they even thought about it, they're not having to think about it. People of means who do not suffer from period poverty, they are suffering now because of a lack of period products. And so that means they're reading the news headlines. They're going to the stores and finding the shelves bare. They're going online and realizing that the products they always bought are much more costly, or they can't find them. And they're having to say, what's going on? And they're reading the articles that highlight period poverty, that highlight the fact that there are families who deal with this day in and day out. It makes it difficult for them to go to school. It makes it difficult for them to go to work. And so just because of the awareness and the education, which is something that is at the heart of Girls Helping Girls, period, more people will become aware, more people will become educated, and hopefully more people will then advocate for change. That's the first silver lining. The second silver lining is that I think this shortage gives people a chance to try different things. And one of the things that we often talk to people about is menstrual cups. These are in a package that are sealed because these will be for a donation and I want to keep them sanitary. But menstrual cups can cost an individual what about a 2-month supply of menstrual products, disposable menstrual products, can cost, and yet these will last somewhere between 5 and 10 years. They're made of medical grade silicone. You can get them readily. They are available all over the internet. Lots of companies are making them now. 5 years ago, a handful of companies. Now they're all over the place. There's a learning curve to using them, but after a couple of months, everyone tells us that if you stick with it for a few months and you get the hang of it and you understand how to use them, this is a game changer. This is not subject to the whims of the supply chain. If you have 2 cups, you're good. You may need some other products, of course. You might want to supplement it with different products, of course, period underwear, disposable products. But for the most part, this can handle the bulk of a cycle. And so it's great for the environment. There is no waste with this except perhaps the plastic that it comes in. And you pay for them once and then you have them for years. So I think that people who would normally go for disposable products and who are having trouble finding them might think about menstrual discs, menstrual cups, period underwear, things that they never really gave a chance before. They might think about it now. So 2 silver linings. I've always been a kind of a glass half full kind of person. So anyway, just wanted to share that, and we appreciate any and all donations, obviously, as we are, whether it be products, financially, all of the support. And I want to give a big shout out to Edgewell Personal Care, the makers of those Playtex tampons, who sent that to me a couple of weeks ago to help out. They are an amazing support for us, and we couldn't do our work without them. And that's all. Thanks for listening.